I think if I hear you call me Becky one more time, six-pack, I'm gonna pop your tops. All six of them.
One man's obsession with a beautiful woman.
Somebody call an ambulance, okay?
Is about to become a nightmare.
Will you look at this computer printout, all on missing persons reports in the last 2 weeks?
For all of New York City.
There are others?
Yes, there are many others.
This is her, Lieutenant.
What exactly do you think happened?
I don't know.
Did you do something to that girl yourself? You're one of those psychopaths who kills girls and goes to the police to tell stories?
I don't know anything about your dead woman in the park, okay?
I was just trying to get away from them.
Now he must find the truth.
An ambulance. It picks up New Yorkers, and they're never seen or heard from again. A vehicle of mercy that's really a murder machine.
Well, what do you do?
What is wrong with you? If you found the ambulance, she's in trouble. What the hell is going on here? Hey!
Stay put. Don't go anywhere.
Eric Roberts, James Earl Jones, The Ambulance.
I promise you, you're going to be in perfect health before you die. Isn't that nice?
Hey folks, this is Matt once again, and this time I'm bringing a review for a film that was made in 1990, and it's called The Ambulance. Now yes, this is a DVD-R, because for the longest time this was never on DVD. I think now it's on one of those MGM manufactured on-demand titles, kind of like Warner Archives, that type of thing. But it wasn't on DVD for a good long time. And The Ambulance might not, I'm sure there's a lot of people who have never heard of this film, but the reason I remember I first heard about this film, it was written and directed by Larry Cohen. For those wondering, it's a 5.6 on IMDb, could be higher. Now, Larry Cohen has directed a lot of interesting films, from Bone and Hell Up in Harlem, to It's Alive, God Told Me To, The Stuff, I love The Stuff, Q the Winged Serpent, really like that one. Larry Cohen, definitely a very talented writer. I think he wrote Maniac Cop, he wrote Phone Booth, at least he came up with the story of Phone Booth, and also helped work on the script, or at least the story of Cellular. So he's definitely a guy who comes up with these really offbeat, cool ideas for films, and really interesting scripts and characters and dialogue. Very offbeat, quirky stuff. And the same can be said for The Ambulance, which is kind of considered one of Larry Cohen's weaker films, but I do disagree. I would say this is one of my favorite Larry Cohen films. But I love The Stuff, I love the Q the Winged Serpent, but I love this film as well. The Ambulance actually stars Eric Roberts. Now, Eric Roberts is this guy, he's actually a comic book artist who works at Marvel, and you actually have an appearance by Stan Lee. I think it's, if it's not the first, it's one of the first appearances. It might have been the first appearance Stan Lee ever had in a film. So you got Stan Lee himself as Eric Roberts' boss. But Eric Roberts, who I'm a fan of as an actor. I think he's a very capable actor. There's this woman that he sees on the street every once in a while when he going to lunch. And he says, okay, today's the day, I'm going to talk to her, and he does. And the woman is actually Janine Turner. Same girl who would be co-starring with Sylvester Stallone in Cliffhanger, as well as the TV show Northern Exposure. And he's being pretty smooth with it. Like, she wants nothing to do with him, but it's like, okay, I like the way the dialogue is written. It's Eric Roberts. Some people say he's just being too over the top, but in a way, yeah, he is. But it was entertaining. I think it works because the whole film has this quirky charm to it, with its oddball characters and offbeat dialogue, and has a fun nature to it. Larry Cohen really brings that vibe to a lot of his films, including this one. But like, gets to the point where she's like, "Well, I'm going to the doctor," and he's like, "Well, yeah, okay. Oh, you not feeling well? But listen, there's nothing better than having someone waiting for you when you come out of that room. And hey, I'll buy something for you." Like, he's been very non-creepy. He's been very charming, actually, likable. And then one thing leads to another. Janine Turner sort of getting sudden pains and is going to the ground, and Eric Roberts is helping her, and there's an ambulance that comes by, and they load her in. They head off, and Eric Roberts only gets her name and apparently where she's going. But when Eric Roberts starts searching the hospitals, there's no word of her, and finds out that her roommate doesn't know where she is, and now this girl's missing. Then you get to the plot of the story. And by the way, the film takes place in New York, which Larry Cohen's definitely, I doubt most of his films takes place in New York. So you have definitely a New York vibe with some of the actors involved, which I mean that in a good way. Ultimately, he goes to the cops, and you have James Earl Jones, who plays one of the weirdest characters James Earl Jones has played, but is really entertaining. He's a guy who's like chewing gum a lot, and he even confides in Eric Roberts that he had a nervous breakdown, and then you get like a hint later on that maybe the guy tried to shoot himself. Like, there's this woman that comes in as another police officer and letting him know about his appointment at the dentist. He's like, how come when I have a cavity, you know about it before me? And then she's like, oh, by the way, there's something about a lawyer or something like that. Get the hell out of here. And then when she leaves, he like, aren't you supposed to be drawn? Like, James Earl Jones, I mean, he's in it for like, I would say maybe 10 minutes or so at most. But he's very entertaining, and one thing leads to another. Eric Roberts is searching the city trying to find this girl, and what you find out, because like he gets sick too, he realizes he's been poisoned, he's taken to the hospital. Only this is actually a real hospital. There he meets this guy played by Red Buttons. Now Red Buttons, he's an actor who goes way back in history of films. Red Buttons. Oh, he won an Academy Award, actually. Trying to see, where did he win the Academy Award for? Unfortunately, he passed away in 2006, which is too bad. He was 87 years old. But I think it was a film, a film in 1957 called Sayonara. He actually won an Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor. He was in The Longest Day, Hatari. He was in these films, let's see, Up from the Beach, Stagecoach, They Shoot Horses, Don't They? Oh yeah, I remember from the Poseidon Adventure now. That's right. Pete's Dragon. Chomps, that movie called Chomps. Oh, he was in that film with Bruce Willis, The Story of Us. That's a Bruce Willis film I've never seen, actually. But he plays a quirky guy because sort of Eric Roberts' roommate when he's at the hospital. Guy has a definite fire to him, and he's actually a newspaper reporter, and he really wants to get the story. And like, these guys try to take Eric Roberts, but he helps them out. And what you're finding out is that, and really enough, the lead bad guy. Like, one of the bad guys is a guy named Nicholas Jinlun, who I remember most from episodes of the X-Files, where he played the character. Well, he was in Con Air as well, when Cameron Poe, Nicolas Cage is like, put the bunny back in the box, and he's the guy who won't do it, so Nicolas Cage kills his ass. Oh yeah, he was also in Tears of the Sun, that's right. But yeah, I do remember him from the X-Files TV show as well. He was in Lethal Weapon 3 and Eraser, that's right, too. Oh yeah. But yeah, in X-Files he played a serial killer named Donnie Faster. Especially in one called Irresistible, which is a very creepy guy who liked like fingernails and hair and stuff like that. But the head bad guy is a guy named Eric Braeden. He's a big soap opera guy. You probably remember him. He's the guy with the mustache in The Young and the Restless. I didn't watch soap operas, but you know, you see commercials and it's like, okay, that's the guy. He does a really good job as the head doctor. And what they're doing is that they're using this ambulance to get people who are diabetics or other people, and they do tests on them. Like, he's perfected this thing that goes against like Janine Turner's spleen, and if it works out, she'll be cured of diabetes. And he has a great line in this movie. Let me see. I want to get the quote real quick. It's too bad they don't have more quotes on here, because there's a lot of memorable quotes in the film. Yeah, so memorable I can't remember them offhand, right? Yes, I will eventually kill you, but I assure you, you'll be in perfect health before you die. So I thought that was an interesting idea, that people are using this ambulance. And it's an old school ambulance. It's like a Cadillac version. I think it's like a 1973 Cadillac. I may be wrong. It has a really badass looking ambulance. And what makes the film work, not only because of the offbeat dialogue, which I'm not going to spoil, because I want people to check this out and see for yourselves. Again, Eric Roberts, yeah, he's a little bit chewing the scenery, but I felt this was in a good way. He wasn't boring to watch. He was having fun with the role. The film is a quirky, funny movie. It's not a comedy. It is a thriller. Not horror, I guess, more of a thrill, but it definitely has a good sense of humor to it, so that's why it's quirky. It's supposed to be this offbeat humor. I enjoyed it, because Larry Cohen does that in Cue the Winged Serpent, The Stuff. If you see those movies, you know what kind of humor you're getting at. And so Eric Roberts' performance I thought was great, and it fit the film. Same with James Earl Jones. But not only that, interesting premise as well, and nice usage of New York City being the landscape. And it was cool that Eric Roberts' job again was a comic book artist. You got Stan Lee in there. But really good stunt work too. Like, there's a moment where Eric Roberts gets caught by the guys and he's in the gurney, or the stretcher, and he gets loose and he's kicking the door open, and he kicks the door open and him on the gurney slides all the way down the street. Nice wide shots. Going through traffic. Really well done stunt sequences. Sorry, my nose is itching. But yeah, really well done stunt sequences. Same thing with like when there's a moment a moment way before in the film where he's looking through and the ambulance is coming and he gets right out of the way, and you see in a wide shot the guy's getting right out of the way as the ambulance comes through. So really good stunt work that people could really have gotten hurt on. Or at the ending where he's like, yo, come and get me. And he's like on a fence, but what the bad guy doesn't know is that on the other side of the fence is a bit, you know, sort of chasm. And the ambulance hits the fence, and you see the guy, probably stuntman, on there trying to hold on, and even falls and then grabs the fence. And I love that Eric Roberts, oh shit, you know, nice wide shot. You see everything. Really well done stunts as well. I guess this review probably won't be as long as other reviews, because I really wanted to just point people out to it. I liked some of the little plot twists that happened, or some of the little surprises. Like, you think because Eric Roberts is going through all this that him and Janine Turner are going to get together, but really he gets together with the officer helping him. It's a female officer played by Gallagher, which, oh yeah, she was Catherine Black, the wife of Lance Henriksen's character in the TV show Millennium. I thought she looked familiar. And did a lot of TV shows as well. Star Trek Voyager, The Mentalist, Larry Sanders Show. But I thought she did a really capable job as well. And you just have a lot of... And the Jay Chataway score, he did the score. Jay Chataway also did the score to stuff like Maniac Cop. Overall, it's a decent score. Has... I don't know, it starts off sort of has a blues type of thing. Or, I don't know, it's blues or film noir type of thing. But I like this sort of beat. Dum dum dum. Boom 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 boom. Boom boom. I like that beat. And I don't know, you just have fun sequences like when the bad guys are trying to take them. It's during daytime, and like these punks who mud them before they come back. And so Eric Roberts kind of goads them. Oh, come on, come on, don't be pussies. Oh, see what could be in that ambulance? Oh, there's drugs and there's this. And so the thugs try to beat the ambulance, and you think they don't get their asses kicked, the ambulance guys. But the ambulance guys hold their own. And they're beating the shit out of the muggers. And, Eric Roberts like, come on, you pussy, come on, hit him with the bat. What the fuck are you doing? Thought that was really funny. Good moments of surprise. I'm trying to... I don't want to forget certain moments, because I thought they were really interesting stuff. Oh yeah, like there's a moment where like James Earl Jones before talks about, we even have a guy here who looks like Jughead. And so later on in the film that actually comes back into effect where he's talking to a cop, like tries to piss the guy off. He's like, yeah, I know this guy, I don't want to trust this guy. This guy looks like Jughead, from Archie. Either way, I'm blabbing on. I don't want this to be too long a review. I just want to let people know about the ambulance. Put a lot of gaps in there. If you like Larry Cohen films, give it a look. If you don't like the film, okay, because, maybe because of this offbeat, sort of quirky, it's an offbeat, quirky movie, but that's what I liked about it. I thought Eric Roberts, James Earl Jones were fun to watch. The rest of the cast, Red Buttons, Gallagher, they did fine. I like the concept of an ambulance taking people so they can test on them. Kind of like what they did later in Extreme Measures. That's another film I like, Extreme Measures. I'm not saying they've never done that before, but I like the idea of, something that you trust, like an ambulance being used against you. Yeah, really good action stunt sequences. By the end of the film, it's like, wow, this is an entertaining, funny, quirky, offbeat, interesting little film that doesn't really get talked about. And, I definitely think it's worth mentioning. I definitely think it's worth the time to check it out. And if you haven't seen The Ambulance, check it out. Give it at least one watch. It's worth a watch. So either way, thanks for watching. Take care, and we'll see you later. Bye-bye.